we on?
We are.
Yay! So it's been a while. Who wants to recover what happened last time from deep inside their memory brains? Don't all talk at once.
If I recall correctly, we were dealing with with a very dangerous large hive of insects, but we haven't finished the hive yet because we're helping out people in a town because someone's brother went missing.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Also, the kid we buried might be some sort of evil shapeshifter?
Maybe. Could be.
Potentially?
Potentially, maybe, sorta. Yeah, perhaps.
Could
If
be.
it makes you feel better that you buried a person.
I thought, I was thinking that maybe Glick might have eaten him. Not Glick, sorry, wrong character. Click might have eaten him. Glick, why are you Sam right now?
Because Sam I am.
I see. Now, I could have sworn you was a bug person named Click. I host a lot of tables, but I'm very confident you're a bug person named Click. Like 90%.
That's my DCC character.
Like Dungeon Call Classics DCC?
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. It's a great system.
He was a rope maker. He's Sam Roper, the cousin of the Ropers.
Yeah. Nice. If you're into that kind of, how do I put this? High lethality and volatility kind of thing, DCC is pretty good. I own it. It's a good book. I both love the magic system because of how in depth it is and how much work they already did, and I hate it because I'll never memorize it all, so it has to come to the table with me. And I don't like that. Anyway, Gobbo, what do you think? There's a bug hive. You have, as I recall, you have riled them. They're buzzing inside the hive. They have not fled the hive yet. Maybe they won't.
Buzz. Okay.
Maybe you can stand over it and go booga 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 and just keep them terrified.
I don't know if that's gonna work.
Put one of his zombie scarecrows out in there, so they just
Take one of your undead friends, put them on a cross, and just leave them, and see if that'll work.
All right, I'll send one of my friends to go a bit closer and kind of poke at it. It's kind of like
because Booga Booga
like one of those robot bomb diffusing robots, except it's just gonna poke the hive and see what happens.
Right. Yeah, because Booga Booga was dismissed, but poke it with a stick is totally a good idea. Right. I see.
And I'm gonna back up a lot.
A lot. You bet. The rest of you, I mean, who else thinks this is a great idea? Does anyone else march forward with the undead creepy crawly, or does everybody back up with Gobbo?
Oh, I'm backing up. I'm backing up.
Hey, we don't want to take Gobbo's thunder here. We just let him.
I see. That's it. But it's not fear. It's you want to make sure the guy. I see. So Gobbo's undead friend, his recently produced pal, right, walks towards the buzzing hole in the ground, takes his stick, and goes like that and shoves it down into the hole. The stick is like 4 feet long. When he pulls back the stick, it's like the spoon in the coffee you probably shouldn't drink. 3/4 of it is missing. When you pull it back out, the end of the stick has this nasty looking acid green burn on the end of it, and what remains of the stick is probably this long. And your undead friend holds up the stick.
I give him a thumbs up.
Mandibles shoot up out of the hole, grab your friend, and he disappears into the floor.
I lower my thumbs up.
There is an explosion from the ground. Many insects pour out of it. Some walk on 2 legs, some don't. They all look a lot like beetles. Most of them are the size of humans. Taika, what do you want to do?
I'm waiting to defend Gobbo because I know that he's not the strongest.
Shade. You bet. Click battle stations. What's the plan? You're definitely under attack.
Well, yes, that's kind of, clear it out so we can see what's going on.
Okay, you bet. Do you attack them? Do you wait for them to get closer to you? I mean, there's only like 30 feet between you and them.
No, I stand my ground and wait for them to get close, like at the ready. So,
okay,
give them a chance not to be hostile, even though I expect it anyway,
You bet. I'm playing a game recently that makes me remember Click constantly. I play a game where you play a guy who is never, ever the guy to pick the fight, but he's always the guy to finish the fight. And there's always that window of, look, if you don't throw fists, I'm not going to knock you flat. Right? And they're always like, put him up. And he goes, fine. And they lose. Karina, what's the plan? You've got bug people, many, many bug people.
Is there any chance we picked up any of those insect killing arrows?
I assumed you recovered the ones that were recoverable, yeah.
Okay.
You're competent adventurers, right?
I'm going to shoot off some of those.
Okay. Safe to say you have around 20 or so.
Okay, how many bugs are we looking at here?
Oh, way more than that.
Okay.
Way more than that.
I can at least take out some of them. So,
okay, sure.
I'll ready my bow.
Okay.
And
so nobody's attacking directly. We're all waiting to see if the bugs don't bite you first.
Don't try to.
Yeah, I'll use I'll use like a reaction.
You bet. Sounds good. Who do you think? Who's in the front? Who do you think is the closest?
I think Gobbo probably.
Yeah,
I backed up.
Probably Click.
Well, Click because I would stand my ground probably.
I was thinking either Click or Taika because Click, and Taika was like, no, I'm going to be in front of the not strong one.
Yeah, so like I'm closer to the middle because I'm in front of the one that backed up.
I see. You bet. So Click, they close on you first. Remind me how familiar you are with other bug species. Would you recognize their markings or like war paint or whatever if they had some?
I assume we do battle with other bug people if they got war paint on. That's if it's universally, used, then yes.
Okay, you bet. So the bug people that approach you are less bug people and more just giant bugs. Like you're not sure they're actually capable of speech and that sort of thing. But something is very wrong with them all the same. They are painted like they're painted, with war paint, and there's a kind of a xenophobe mark they get put on them. Like we hate everyone all the time. Like death to foreigners, that sort of thing. And they're all branded with that. But you don't see like the dexterity to paint that themselves.
Or thumbs.
Exactly right. They probably didn't do that to themselves.
I believe that. Actually, if I recall, last time we found out that they were being afflicted with something. You did. They definitely have been painted, probably by someone else, and they don't look okay. They look like they're straining. You know that wince you make when you have an intense migraine or headache, like when part of you feels like it's being crushed, and you kind of that. They all look like that. Something's wrong with them, and it's not like just aggression. But they do charge you. They come at you with mandibles. I don't have anything in here. Yeah, you're dexterous. Click is good at getting out of the way. Roll 2d6 and take the good one. See if you get a chomp.
6.
Nice, you bet. So you effortlessly dodge out of the way. Do you take that bug down, or do you just dance around?
I use my spear to, stab through him and vault over him, kind of thing.
Nice. Ow. So you plug him and then flip over him, remaining in the melee, the wall.
Yeah, in the melee area,
right?
Your
friends, you bet. How many bugs do you think you can take in one round? I mean, there's enough of these things to overrun you. Well, overrun a normal person. Well, how many bugs do you think you can keep paying attention to you?
Oh, I could, they could surround me. That would be 6, right? because they're humanoid size.
Right, but that's not what I meant. I meant, do you think you can draw more attention than that? So there's a whole many bugs pouring out of it. Do you think that you alone can form a defensive barrier to keep that deluge from your friends?
Sort of like the one man on the bridge thing.
One man on the bridge thing, right? Is that something you can do? You think?
I think yes, that I could hold them here. I don't know, a couple dozen probably without too much trouble.
Sounds good. Yeah, you bet. How do you do that? Just like move around a lot, make a bunch of noise.
Move around, wield. I pull out like the two-handed. The two-hander sword I carry, and just sort of the large sweeping area.
I see. So you look intimidating.
Yeah,
you bet.
That whole martial art. I swing my nunchucks around, which is super impresses everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Bruce Lee gets a lot of love for lots of things, and he should. But for my money, what he deserves props for is making it so I even know what a nunchuck is.
One of the worst weapons ever invented.
Ever. And he created all that stuff. Everything from, and I can draw a direct line from Bruce Lee to Michelangelo of the TMNT and literally every other nunchuck in every movie ever because Bruce Lee made them popular. Good for him. Unbelievable, because they're terrible. Anyway, so make an intimidation roll to see how many bugs you can, keep focused on you, and then we'll see what's going on with Taika.
A 3, not so good.
Not so good. You draw, 6 or 7 bugs that are paying attention to you. They plant their feet. They do their best to get low and form a defensive barrier between you and their friends, which is good, I suppose. Because
I'm not advancing, so that's,
Right. You've essentially removed, as long as you don't kill them and they don't kill you, you're kind of at a stalemate there. Taika's up next because he's in the middle. Now what?
All right. Well, Taika is not going to get in front of Click.
No?
However, what I will do is I will jump up and energy will start in my tail as I do a roll, and I will throw out kind of like a Destructo disc from like old Dragon Ball Z to cut through them.
Nice, you bet. Clickety clackety, roll to attackety.
Hell yeah, and this is definitely spiritual augmentation, which is one of my strengths.
Nice.
Got a 4.
You bet. So you pierce through 3 insects and shred them apart. Let's go with Karina next. Karina, do you want to shoot one of these things?
So just to clarify, have any of them actually attacked yet?
Yes. One of them attempted to bite Click in half. It just didn't go so well.
Okay. I think I'm going to wait just a little bit longer.
Okay.
Just to kind of see what plays out kind of in the front here with like Click and this defensive line of the other bugs.
Okay.
But the second that it seems like Click might get overwhelmed, I'm going to start letting loose some arrows.
Sounds good. So you're going to continue to hold? Sounds good. Gobbo, what are you up to? This is your crazy idea, what with the hole poking?
I am going to keep hiding and wait for one to get close and then stab it with an ice pick in the head when it gets close enough.
You bet. I look like, yeah, that's great. Good for you for like sticking a character. Seriously, good for you. More bugs pour themselves from the hole. You watch them, aside from the ones that Click is engaging. The rest of them fan out into the forest. Gobbo, this gives you your opportunity to attack one of them. Do you want to try and maintain your secret position? Like reach out, stab them, and stay hidden? Yeah, you bet. Is stealth something you're good at? In my notes here, I've got that you're good at healing chemicals and exhuming, which is a very, very specific trait.
I try to like hide in the shadows a lot, so I've had some practice considering how much people don't like me.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. I don't get that. You're plenty likable.
All right, 4.
You bet. Sounds good. You lash out, you stab one in the head, and you retreat, you and your pickaxe, ice pick back into the shadows. And the creature goes and dies. Would you make a perception roll? Since you're right next to this thing.
I got a 2.
Ooh, okay. You didn't see nothing. I mean, there's a dead bug. Bugs fan out into the forest. Click, what do you think? On the one hand, you're holding these 6 bugs' attention. On the other hand, that forest has gotten much larger. On the other hand, so now we're up to 3 hands, there are enough bugs poured up out of the ground that the nest is probably, if not empty, close to it now.
Well, then we know how many things there are.
Because the ground has stopped shaking. So presumably, there's not enough bugs left in it to make the ground tremble anymore.
I'm still just holding the line. If they start to attack, I'm going to start cutting them down.
You bet. Those 6 don't move, but ones behind them float up into the air. They flap their wings, and they attack you.
Oh, they can fly.
Would you roll a... Say again? Click, what?
I didn't say anything. She said they can fly.
Right, yeah, I heard that.
I'm not surprised. They're bugs. Beetles, I mean.
Right, all beetles can fly. Yeah, I actually don't know if that's true.
I'm sure that, that 3 isn't going to be that helpful.
No, probably not. You get chomped on the front. What do you have on the front? Like, as far as like gear? Because armor, your stuff you're wearing in the front of you is going to take damage before you do.
I don't wear any armor. My skin is a carapace. I wear a bandolier that holds my sword and a belt pouch thing.
And a belt pouch thing.
Yeah, that carries my other stuff, food and things like that,
Seeing Click in trouble, would I be able to react now and try and shoot the one that's biting him?
Absolutely. You want to try and shoot it before or after it bites him on the belt buckle?
Before.
Yeah, you bet.
And I'm going to use one of those insect killing arrows.
You bet.
These are beetles, so I think that that's the incorrect arrow.
Do beetles not count as insects?
I'm totally messing with you.
Yeah, I think we're gonna let this one slide. I think that's fine. I actually don't know. Spiders aren't technically insects.
Well,
Well, spiders are their own thing.
Arachnids.
Arachnids, right.
Beetles are insects. They got 3 segmented bodies and 6 legs. And
yep, by definition, a beetle is an insect that has 4 wings, of which the outer pair are modified into stiff, I cannot pronounce that word, that help protect the inner flight pair, which are folded underneath the bug when at rest. There you go. Yes, they're totally bugs.
They're bugs, but then
they're insects.
They're but
bug,
the
insect,
are even
pest,
bugs.
It's all the same. So you want to shoot one of them with a anti-pest arrow?
Yeah. Specifically the one that looks like it's about to take a chomp out of Click.
You bet. What'd you get?
That is a 5.
Nice. So the arrow, you whistles through the air, and you punch that thing right in the mouth as it swings its mandibles open. And, I mean, Click's probably, I don't know, Click, how do you deal with the idea that you're about to be bit? Do you brace? Do you do you flinch? Do you bravely stare at your enemy? How does Click deal with the chance of incoming pain?
Oh, he just stands there and takes it stoically,
Of course, because he's like a wall, right? You bet. And walls don't flinch. Of course not. Karina plugs it in the face with an arrow, and it sinks down to the ground in front of you. This is good because you get to keep your belt buckle, and this is bad because the remaining flying bugs didn't notice her before. So they rotate and they fly in her direction.
That's fine.
That's fine. This is fine.
And I guess it's time to thin their numbers.
Yeah, how are we going to do that?
Just going to, wail into them with my 2-handed sword. Dervish style.
Do you want to hit 1 at advantage? Or actually, you're big. Do you want to hit 2 at advantage or 4 at disadvantage?
I'll swing at 4 at disadvantage.
Sounds great.
So,
you bet.
2 dice, take the lowest. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, it's the plan.
So a 6 and a 5.
No kidding. You bet. So you swing the big two-handed axe and you go like that and you cleave the top half off of 4 of them. The acids in their body just leaking out onto the grass. Gobbo, what do you think? You have
Is there
whatever you're gonna
one
do
by
next.
me that I killed with the ice pick?
Right next to you, yeah. It's like a foot away.
Can I
Would you
try to
like it to look
use
up
my
really
magic
close?
to bring it to life?
Ew. Of course you'd like. You're so gross. Yeah, you
You're
bet.
gonna
We
make a
need more
zombie
allies.
Don't
You-
life shame him.
Is that what we're calling it?
Or unlife shaming. I mean,
Yeah, right.
If Karina sees this, she's hardcore judging.
Right. Don't zombie shame. Right.
No, I think it's an excellent idea to increase your,
Yeah.
friend
It's a,
count.
I mean, it's a.
Do I
it's a
do that,
nice-
or should I roll for it?
Absolutely. Do you have you raised this kind of creature? Not this specifically, an insect like this, but have you
Not
raised,
specifically an insect, but I've animated things from insect parts before.
if you've done it from like assemble insect parts, it's got to be easier when the bug's whole to begin with. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it just picks itself up off the floor.
Gobbo normally
Um,
makes it harder on himself by making them like amalgamations. It's a lot easier to just take an already dead thing and raise it.
Remind me how this happens. It's been a while. Do you? pack it
He has
full of
electric
mushrooms?
magic,
Is this-
and he
I
touches
see.
it and fills it with energy, basically.
So you're Dr. Frankenstein.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's
So, like,
Gross.
horrible.
Blue sparks
yeah, right.
fly off your hands. And,
Right. Igor appears from nowhere and goes, "It's alive," and then disappears again. Right. Like,
And then after it's alive, I'm going to give it some of the goo that makes it bigger.
of course you are. Because we're going to take the
forgot
creep
you had
factor and
that.
just dial
Yep.
that right up.
I think that "It's alive" just comes from a "oh shit, it's alive" from Taika.
Right. Right. Like, it's alive and it's getting bigger by the second. What the fuck? Right. And you watch the beetle. It gets bigger, but the hole from where the ice pick hit it doesn't go away. It just doesn't care anymore. So there's this like twice as big. So now it's, let's see, this bug when it walks on 4 legs is the size of a mastiff. So now it's the size of a minivan. Right? It's definitely dead. I mean, there's a hole in its head where its brain ought to be. Somebody punctured its face with, that might have been an ice pick, and it marches towards the rest of the bugs. And meanwhile, Gobbo's hiding in the bushes like, yeah, like it. You're terrible. Like,
take
So
care
to
of my life.
everyone else, it just looks like this bug has animated of its own accord.
right. And enlarged by like 50%. Yeah. Like, that's terrifying. It effortlessly rips a bunch of bugs apart, right? Like they can't kill it. When they bite it, they just they release it immediately because nobody wants to eat a dead. Nobody does. Ugh, gross. It rips them in half. It's ugly. There are bug parts and cannabis shreds all over the place in seconds because the undead Hulk bug is busy doing its thing. Taika, what do you want to do?
What's the battlefield looking like at this point? Is my question.
You are still outnumbered like 10-1, but with and the bugs have spread out. They've stopped hiding the fact that they can fly. Not that they were necessarily hiding that before. They just hadn't used it yet.
Got
So
it.
there are enemies on the ground. There are enemies in the tree line above you. There are enemies flying in the air above you.
Oh,
I
cool.
bet that is a horrible sound.
In that case,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
In that case, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna jump from bug to bug, digging in
Mm-hmm.
and trying to pull their heads off as I jump.
Sounds great because you're all terrible. Yeah, you bet. Roll to do your thing.
Got a 3.
Got a 3. You bet. So you I almost said catwalk, but that's not a thing. You somersault into the air. You grab one by the head. You rip its head off. Bounce to 3 more, doing the same thing. Once you've got paws full of bug heads, you go like that and take down 2 more.
Yeah, I think the last one gets taken out because I chuck a bug head at him.
That's what I meant. You go like this with the heads and hit a couple of bugs.
Yeah.
And they But Karina's not wrong. The amount of drone sound coming out of those wings makes it difficult to communicate with each other if that's something that you're going to do. Karina, what do you want to do? You're outnumbered by quite a bit, but it doesn't necessarily look like that's going to be a problem.
I'm just going to start shooting off arrows.
You bet.
At the ones that are flying.
You bet. You can roll to hit 2 with advantage or 4 at disadvantage because they are busy paying attention.
Let's try 4 with
to Taika.
Disadvantage. Why not? That is 2 6s.
Nice. So you puncture them
good.
like bug-based pin cushions, and they just collapse onto the floor. Arrows stuck in their backs. The arrows look like they're still good, but you'd have to recover them. At this point, the bugs decide that maybe this isn't working out. And they start to hum and vibrate instead. Like they sort of kind of start going like this. Click, do you recognize that?
Not for their particular communication. I don't know. Or is it a general thing? I think they would have their own specific message.
I think that would be a bug. This species specific.
Right. So I don't think I would then.
Okay, you bet. What do you want to do?
Continue thinning their numbers until they surrender.
I see. I see.
I would like to
yes.
set an arrow on fire and shoot it into where their nest is.
Okay.
In case they try and retreat.
You bet. Roll to not so much to attack, but to see how far down the arrow gets. Because the farther down it goes, the more effective it's going to be.
Am I rolling just a straight roll?
Unless archery is something you're particularly good at. And you are shooting a place you can't see.
I'll just do a straight roll.
Sounds good. And Click is attacking?
Yep.
Same thing as before?
Same thing as before, just sweeping around. 2.
I got a 4.
1. A 1. That wasn't very impressive.
It was, but to somebody far away. Karina, what'd you get?
I got a 4.
Nice, you bet. You hear the arrow whistle down into the hole. The bugs freak. They immediately stop vibrating and empty the forest as they zip past you. Everybody can get a free attack if they want, as the bugs fucking ignore you to get back down into the hole as fast as they can go. Except, of course, the giant hulkling bug that's not interested anymore.
Yeah.
Can we just move that giant bug on top of the hole?
Like a cork?
Yeah. I'll try and get that game.
I don't know, Gobbo, how do you feel about that?
So what's being done with the giant bug?
It sounds like they want to put him... Yeah, right. Just plug the hole with the giant bug's ass like a wombat.
Yeah, that works great. It's going to die soon, so...
It is?
They don't last long once they start fighting.
Oh. You bet. So let me get this straight. We're going to... All the bugs die back into the holes. Did anybody attack any of them on the way by?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm totally... Yeah. I'm totally trying to send, like, an energy lance through multiple of them.
You bet.
Oh, yeah. Like, I feel like we're trying to kill as many as
6.
possible.
You bet. Describe what that looks like. So I'm not going to have you roll for these. I just want to, like, if you had your shot, what's it look like? You know?
Taika, like, stretches his back.
Okay.
And he looks like he's not going to do anything, but then he stands up and does, like, a full-on, like, Fwah!
Wait, like, on 2 paws, he stands up?
100%. But after he shoots like a spiraling crazy beam of holy crap, where did that come from? He rolls forward because he loses balance. But he walks it off.
Right, looks at you like I meant to do that.
Exactly.
I'm sure it looks incredibly cute though.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Other than
like if there were any bystanders in this worst pit, I'll be like, aww.
I'm picturing like Goku as a cat. Right, who then falls over is like, what?
Yep.
That's great. You bet. Karina, what does yours look like?
I think at this point, she would put her bow back on her back, take out her big sword, and just start like swinging around in a circle.
Nice. You bet. And you just go like this and you cut a bunch of them up.
Yep.
Gobbo, do you take a shot here? Mr. Stealthy Ice Picky Stabby Stab?
I mean, if one's close to me, yeah.
You bet. Is that what happens? You lunge out with another ice pick and plug one of them in the head?
Yes.
You know, for a guy who hides in the bushes a lot, you still do precision work. Good for you. Like, Click, do you swipe at them as they go by?
Yep, swipe on them as they go by.
You bet. You
Just
cut
cutting down a couple more of the slow ones, you know.
Right. Picking off the stragglers. They bury into the hole. You take your Hercules bug. You plug the hole. There is this weird distortion as heat starts to come up through the ground. Like if you were standing on top of a pot of boiling water. And then there's kind of a sound, almost like a burp, but not quite. And gas leaks out from underneath your bug friend. The bottom of him looks a little burnt, and the ground stops moving.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Now what? The forest goes awful still.
Does that mean they're all dead?
I don't know.
I will look to Click.
I suppose you could ask the bug's ass. It's the thing closest to the rest of it.
Are we in the clear, big bug friend?
The big bug isn't being attacked, is it?
It doesn't look that way.
And I suppose we should wait a few moments and.
Yeah, I feel like we should just wait and see.
Fantastic. I will start to clean the pieces of bug off of myself.
Ew. So we take a minute or two and wait. Is that the plan?
Yeah, clean off the weapons,
Right. Right. Clean off the bug bits, clean the weapons. You bet.
Karina's going to try and recover some of those arrows.
Yeah, you bet. You pull them out, no problem. They probably won't take another firing like that. But I don't know if Karina already knows this or not, but I definitely want to make sure that you have the opportunity. If arrows only go as deep as you fire them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they are easier to retrieve. They are more likely to be retrievable if they don't bite that deep. So if you had an arrow you really wanted to recover, you could deliberately choose to deal, to sink it less to make it more easy to recover in the future. Something to consider.
Okay. I feel like she probably did that with these arrows specifically, since they're designed to kill insects in one hit.
You bet.
So all that matters is that they get in a little bit.
You bet. Gobbo, what do you think? Is the plan to go in this hole?
Yeah. I want to see what other bugs are down there. Does your undead
bug guy have feelings? Can he communicate with you?
Wait, what? Does what have feelings?
Your Hercules bug, your Hulk bug.
No. They do not have feelings.
Does he have a mind? Can he communicate with you? Does he have will? Or is he just like a puppet?
I tell him to do things, he does the things.
Right. Yeah, it sounds kind of like a golem. Yeah. That's kind of sad. You stripped the will, whatever will it had out of it. And then
I can't bring it all back.
And then used it as that's kind of dark. So do you then tell it to move or just...
I'm going to try and have it move. I'm not sure if it's decayed enough yet because it did take a lot of damage, right? Because you said it was singed and all that, right?
Yeah, right. When it moves, it moves, but it rips off most of its bottom half by doing so. So it falls apart and it's not in great shape. But you can gain access to the hive. Do we go down there? Seriously? What are you, crazy?
Does it look like Gobbo's going down there?
I think so. I think he's crazy.
If he's going down there,
Karina's gonna put a hand on his
with.
shoulder and just be like, "This is a dumb plan. I don't like this plan."
Okay.
I love the clarity. There's no beating around the bush. This is a stupid idea.
What are we doing instead?
That is a good question. Don't all answer at once now.
Bugs are not my specialty, so I do not know.
No, that would be
I know.
charcuterie.
I'm okay going down into the underground tunnel area.
I feel like underground areas are definitely Click's specialty.
Yeah. Might be a little, just because it is a stereotype doesn't mean it's not true,
Yeah, that's fair. That's funny. Is the plan to go down in this hole? I mean, you did risk life and limb to gain access to it, or just because the bugs attacked you? It's been a while. I honestly don't remember.
I don't either.
I don't remember why you were picking fights with bugs. I do remember that Click is on the hunt for the perfect hive.
I remember that we were looking. We're trying to save those other creatures.
Other
I forget what they're
By
called.
creatures, you mean town people.
No, remember when we first walked out?
Oh, the water mages?
Yes.
No, because we went into the forest after we found the dead boy's body with the insect killing arrow in it.
Yeah.
We buried him. We went into town, did all that, came back out, went into the forest, hit a different hive, if I remember correctly. And that was just a sound thing. It wasn't actually real. And then we were surrounded by those other creatures.
That was a trap that we got caught in.
Yeah, and then those guys were infected, and we were like, yeah, we'll help you.
We're also looking for the strings for the harp that's the major god too, right?
Yeah.
Yes. You have a harp that's a primordial being that knows all kinds of shit, or would if it was intact.
So what was his name? Was it Primus or something?
It was.
Did I give him a name?
Yep.
I could have sworn you did.
Yep, Primus. Yeah, it's in my notes.
Yeah.
Primus the Divine Harp. You bet.
So does that mean without the strings, he's just really dumb?
He's difficult
mean.
He's mean, he's judgy, and he's cranky. But I mean, I would be cranky too if I couldn't, I could reach out into my brain and just not grab a thought. You know? We also have, in case you forgot, you have Kobold, Kevin, and Goblin Bob. Because
yes,
Karina,
I forgot I had them. Bob and Kevin, I think.
Bob and Kevin, right? Kevin the Kobold and Bob the Goblin, right?
Yes.
Who you've given names to and insisted that they will get along, right?
They're still in my bag. They each have a little pouch.
That have at this point, if you were okay with it, they've started climbing out of the bag and scooping up bug parts. They don't eat the carapace, but they sort of clean the guts out of the inside, like watermelon off of a rind.
So like
I'm not
lobster,
going to look at it, but they can certainly do it.
I don't want to see it. That's funny. So do we march into this hole to the sound of Karina's pockets making nom-nom sounds?
I think so.
Yeah, I just sort of, do that, kind of infiltration kind of thing.
You bet. So I'm picturing you like Kronk. No? Click's probably stealthier than that.
Yeah, like a little stealthier than him, yes.
Yeah.
Sort of spear out because it's a tunnel, so kind of stealthing my way in, spelunking style.
Does that mean you're in the front?
Yeah, I'll take the front because I'm the one that knows the most about underground.
Stereotype. Who's all the way in the back? Is that Gobbo, or did I get that wrong?
No, I'll go with.
Sounds good. So it's Click, Karina, or Taika. Who's right after you? What's the mark look like here?
Karina will go in the back. She doesn't like this plan.
I see. You bet. So it's Karina and
I'll
Gobbo
be right
in the back.
after Click.
Sounds good. So once you head down into the hole, there's at the beginning, it's a track that comes up like this. The bugs look like they skittered their own way. It's a angled tunnel, basically, just made out of dirt, right? How about that? But as you get farther down, 20 feet, 30 feet, the dirt gives way to what looks like stairs, like cut stairs, the kind of thing that humans make, made out of stone. that have weird filigree. They could be just damage from time, but probably not. They're probably some sort of picture that's been damaged over time to look more like just cracks at this point. Do you stop to look at something like that, or do we just keep walking until the tunnel widens?
Yeah.
Click. Well, he's looking for enemies, and writing has never attacked him before, so.
Writing, like, now that's not true, right? The written word is a dangerous thing. Hold on 1 second. Technical difficulties. 1 second. Sorry, we're all set now. So my mother is taking a nap in the living room, and her phone went off, and I didn't know if you could hear that, and it didn't seem like the most professional thing in the world. So I figured I'd take care of that. So you go down the tunnel. Kulik notices that there is weird writing on the steps, and he's like, writing has never attacked me, whatever. And he continues to walk down the steps. Does anybody else have a different opinion?
Taika wants to see if it makes sense for him.
You bet. Taika, what I've got here for Taika is that he's good. His specialties include perception, dexterity, and spiritual enhancement.
Yep.
Do they include? Did I miss anything like ancient depictions of the past?
No, but I am ancient.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, feel free to roll an investigation check or whatever term you like better.
Oh, nothing. I got a 1.
Oh yeah. So you're pretty sure they're pictures.
Whoever
Damaged
made these
pictures.
needs to work on their craft.
I love how it's their fault. Gobbo, did I catch a face in there a second ago? You all right?
Oh, my cat's just being very naughty.
I see. Have you considered telling them to cut it out? Because that always works.
I've tried.
Is he going in front of the TV? I see.
We have
I watched him jump up and slide.
Nice.
We're trying to teach him how to not jump up there. It's not going well.
We got a kitten not that long ago. We've had her for like a year now, but she's still basically a kitten. And we finally convinced her not to climb the blinds. That's it. Out of like the 12 bad habits she has, we have purged one of them. Woo! Like, I know. World's tiniest celebration. Karina, do you have an interest in the weird steps?
Yeah, I'll certainly look at them.
You bet. Without any sort of investigation roll, it's definitely a picture, a series of them, like a comic book. But it looks like they've been worn over time, and you definitely have to spend some time staring them over. Is that something you want to do?
Is it going to significantly detract from what we're doing?
That depends on how long it takes. If you get a stroke of inspiration, maybe not. But I mean, maybe some researchers spend years looking over the same piece of rock, which to me sounds incredibly boring, but it is what some people do.
I think then this is something I'll wait to do when we're coming back.
Sounds good. You bet. As the pile of you advance farther down the steps, eventually we transition from dirt to dirt covered steps to just stonework. Even the tunnel itself looks like it's been carved to be fairly round with steps in the bottom, like a stone. You know those connecting tunnels. It's not really a tunnel. Like a sunroom. Some people build like a house and another house, and then like a tunnel that connects them, like a hallway.
Yeah,
like that, just made out of stone. Those have a name. I just forgot what it's called right now.
Breezeway.
Thank you. A breezeway. Only it's made out of stone. And as you get further down, the tunnel, this stops being nature-made completely. You find the central space. You're probably a good 100 feet underground now. And the central space looks like a stone library, maybe. There are bookshelves on the walls and wooden chairs set onto the ground everywhere. You can definitely see where the bugs came from. You can see little bits of carapace. You didn't make a wrong turn somewhere. The bugs were living here. You're in this large chamber. There's a diaz up in the front, sort of like one part library, one part worship chamber from like a church. And there is 3 rooms, if you want to call it that, at the far end. One that's much larger than the other 2, from which you can see light coming. That tunnel is wide enough that you do not have to walk. All 4 of you could walk down it shoulder to shoulder, and you'd still have space left to go like this. The other 2 tunnels are much narrower than that, neither of which glow. So you've got a central tunnel, a left tunnel, and a right tunnel. The central tunnel is much larger and has a green light kind of rippling out of it.
Do we see any evidence that the bugs that came back down into the hole have like died or dispersed? Like,
you see bug carapace bits here in this room, and you kind of moved some of them with your feet as you came down the steps, but nothing that looked like burnt bug, which is really what you should be seeing.
You know, when it totally came to mind when you said it was a stone library. I'm thinking these books that are made out of stone on the shelves.
The bookshelves are empty, but I love the idea of books made of stone. Now that's the thing I'm gonna have. That's funny.
It'd be funny if they even had like stone pages that were inscribed.
Yeah, I'm talking about whole stone pages. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's fun. Every 6 or 7 seconds, you hear the movement of water from the glowing chamber. Ooh. Or from whatever is down at the other end of that water, right. Okay. Every 6 or 7 seconds, there's a sploosh sound. It doesn't sound like it's getting any closer or anything, but it's definitely there.
And you said earlier when I had shot the arrow in, it sounded like boiling water underground?
Yes, for just a second, yeah.
Okay.
I think we must investigate further.
All right, let's do that. I'll head that direction.
You bet. How are you all seeing in the dark?
I'm a cat.
You know.
Right, you're a cat. He's a bug. Right. How are the?
Do orcs have dark vision?
They do if you say they do.
Let me look it up.
Gobbo's holding somebody's hand. He can't see.
I see. I was like, I'm picturing you've got. My first thought wasn't that you're holding somebody's hand for guidance. Like, I thought you had some like creepy undead glowing hand. He just does that so often he doesn't even know whose it is. I'm holding somebody's hand. Like, he's got like a glowing palm in his pocket. He just pulls out. He's to see like a monkey,
like a monkey's paw kind of thing.
Right. It just glows.
Yeah, I would say Karina can see in the dark.
Sounds good. You bet.
And what I, as maybe a suggestion for our undead friend is that, if he animated something that was undead, he could maybe put his hand on his shoulder and see through its eyes and guide him that way.
Ew.
I have no idea if my undead can see in the dark, but
well, I feel like
I guess it depends on the creature.
Now,
that's what I'm saying is when you want to use a special ability, you animate something with a special ability.
Right, you have somebody you had assisted with that particular skill, and I mean, like, if I were you, right, if I were the kind of guy that did the Dr. Frankenstein thing, I would not be above. Now that we know that orcs can see in the dark, making my undead buddy and making sure that I had some orc eyes to plug into it. I mean, if we're gonna be gross, like
and Karina hates me enough.
See,
if we're gonna be disgusting.
If Karina knows that you're using orc eyes, yes. Absolutely. She already doesn't
you have to mention it, right?
Right, it doesn't have to be orc eyes. We've also addressed it could be bug or cat eyes, right? Like,
just ask Karina if you can take her eyes if she dies.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go over like a fart in church.
When you're done with your parts, can I use them?
I feel like Karina would just be like, I will not die before you.
I'm not signing. Right, you creep.
Like, you're definitely going out of this world before I will.
I love that there's this immense amount of judgment between the two of you and you're still on the same team. I love that. That's great. So you're in this room. And you can all see in the dark, except Gobbo, who is busy. Who are you? Who's carrying? Helping you see? Whose hand are you holding?
Well, he's right behind the cat.
So you're snuggling.
He's just holding on to Taika's tail.
How's the Duke seeing?
Oh, he's probably holding on to Taika's tail.
No. Duke is stumbling along and running into things because he's independent, but he's somehow making it.
He's going to come out of here with a couple of
I
bruises.
feel like Karina is going to just stop him from hitting things because she can
He's
see
gonna
in the
fall
dark.
head first and get lost.
It amazes me that you haven't had a major plot problem exist because of Duke yet. I'm sure it's going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. So you're in this room. You can all see, well, most of you anyway. Would you make, those of you who can see, would you make perception rolls as you take in the space? Take it in, take it all in.
I rolled
3
3s.
Nice.
I got a 1, so I don't see anything.
Right.
I think I'm
right.
I'm so focused on oh my god, Taika's not taking care of his kid again.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's not my kid. He just follows me around.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Nothing creepy about that, right?
Yeah, that's not weird. Did anybody get anything higher than a 3?
No.
Nope.
Really? No kidding. Bummer.
It happens sometimes.
It does. Right. You're looking at a large room that's covered in old bookshelves. It's definitely one part library, one part holy chamber. It might have been just a bunch of place for what amounts to Bibles, right? It might not be a library at all, just a storage, one part storage. Who knows? You do notice that there's definitely a degree of separation for the much larger chamber with the water and the light. It's much bigger both this way and that way, and this tunnel itself looks like it has more traffic. The tiles look like they're more worn.
Okay. Well, I'm going to see what head towards. Did the sound come from here? The water sound?
The water sound you can hear it every 6 seconds or so.
But it's not we haven't found the source yet.
No, it's definitely coming from the tunnel, the much larger central tunnel with something glowing at the other end.
Well, that's where I would head then.
Let's
You
go
bet.
in there.
You bet. Unless anybody has any objections.
Absolutely not.
No, we.
Following the leader.
You bet. When you get down to the end of it, there is it's maybe a 40-foot hallway. When you get to the end, as you get closer to the end, and you can hear the sound of your footsteps and nothing else really, except that every couple of seconds there's the water bloop bloop sound. When you get to the end of the hallway, there's a 40-foot drop, not straight down, but pretty close. And there is a pool of water at the bottom, green. There's something in it that's making it glow. You can see it from here, a crystal maybe. It's kind of hard to tell. Something's funny about the light. Somewhere between, obviously the water is glowing and that's weird. But also the shadows between here and there almost feel like they have weight, like they're trying to push the glow back down. It's weird. It's kind of hard to explain. And there are a couple of those bugs you saw upstairs. There's a much smaller tunnel down there, and you're watching bugs come out from the tunnel, get in the water, get back out. They look different. They go in like normal bugs. They're the size of men, but aside from that, they're normal. They're not the bugs you saw. When they come back out of the water, they are the bugs you saw. They have the brands. They have that weird, stressed out, pressurized look and everything. And then they go back through a tunnel very much like the one they just came from, like an assembly line. And there is kind of maybe supervising the whole thing, like standing between the bugs coming in tunnel and the bugs going out tunnel, right in front of the body of water, is a hooded figure covered in covered in robes that are covered in many runes. The robes are black. There's lots of bright red runes on the outfit. The whole creature can't be. Go ahead.
The hooded figure.
Yeah, you bet.
No questions asked.
Nope, I know what I'm doing. Shoot him with fire. Right. You bet. Nobody's opposed to that?
We support choices.
Yeah, one choice is a choice for everyone,
Yeah, right.
That is a 6.
All for awe crap. You bet. A 6?
Mm-hmm.
You plug it with an arrow. You bet. The arrow whistles through the air, hits the hood. You hear a kind of like the soft thud. The bugs immediately stop moving. The robes crumple onto the floor as if they had been empty the whole time. And the glow in the crystal on the water goes out.
Well, looks like we're done here.
You killed him.
The bugs that had already been changed surge up at you. The bugs that had not been changed flee and go back to the tunnel they came from.
Time to start your day.
Oop, there goes my Alexa. Sorry.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, you like it when the TV says it, and then the Alexa talks to him.
Nice. Like,
Alexa's like,
that?
good morning.
how is having like an AI talking in your house all the time?
Alexa, stop.
She's okay. I enjoy actually real. It's I use it quite a bit because, I set a timer when I'm cooking. I just yell at Alexa to set the timer instead of having to figure out how, to make whatever it was, the stove work or something. Play some music or.
Mm-hmm. We've got 2 of them.
I would
Nice.
like to take the robe of the creepy man and give it to
You want to get down there?
Yeah.
Sure. It's a 40-foot jump. Can you handle that?
I'll take my time.
I'm
I'll
gonna grab
climb
onto
down the
Duke.
side.
You bet.
I'm gonna do the thing where I make Duke angry at me again, and I'm like, no, you're not going down there.
So you grab the kid so he can't follow, and he gets all cranky and swings at you, and
Yep.
until he's out of gas again. You bet. And Taika, you climb, but I mean with gusto, right?
Yep.
You get down to the bottom. The bugs immediately turn around and come for you. Absolutely.
Oh, that's fine.
Gobbo, what do
The
you want to do?
regular ones or the changed ones?
The regular ones left.
Okay.
But the changed ones, there's probably only 6 of them. But they're airborne, and they definitely want Taika because he's coming for the ropes. Like it's almost like they can tell. As soon as he gets because the rest of you are up here. As soon as he gets closer, they freak and they target him. They glow and everything. The paint on the outside of them lights up. They're different. It's hard to miss that they're coming for him. That means that he'll be rolling to a defend at disadvantage, but the rest of you will be attacking at advantage if that's something you want to do. Speaking of, is that something you want to do?
I don't think I can if I'm holding this kid.
That's a good point.
And what I'll do is I'll throw my spear in the wall about halfway down and sort of do an
Okay.
acrobatic twist down so I can land down there with him and help him out.
You bet. Sounds good. I'm not going to
Rainbows.
I'm not going to have you roll to throw a spear, but I'm going to have you roll to hit a bad guy. So
Yeah.
go for it.
I
While you roll for, go ahead.
Oh, disadvantage. Hold on. Yeah, I got a 3 on defense.
You bet.
Obviously, I didn't stick that landing very well because I rolled a 2 on the swinging the sword around.
Nice. So yeah, you throw the spear successfully, right? It looks cool, but you don't quite stick the landing, right? Cool. Yeah, it's all right. Not your best day. It was a lot of bugs. You're tired. I mean, I get it, right? Even Hercules needs like wine and a day off or whatever. Taika, you defend against 2 of them successfully, but the third one and fourth one bite your back and front respectively. What does that do? Do you bleed for it? Do you have gear back there?
I don't have gear
Good
back
thing-
there. I think I bleed a little bit, but it more annoys me.
Okay. It's a good thing you've got, good thing the kid's up there, huh? Because you could have got ripped apart.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're saying. You might not. I don't know if you noticed that Karina snatched him up.
At this moment, I'm not paying attention to Duke whatsoever. Like, he does what he
Yeah,
does.
right.
I've gotten used to that.
Gobbo, what do you think?
I can't see. I just hear buzzing.
That's terrifying.
And
Well, there is a glow down there. You said from the water and stuff.
Didn't the glow go out though?
Right. When
Oh,
you
okay.
shot the robed figure, the glow stopped. You
All right.
can see, though, because the remaining bugs that are flying this way, they light up like angry Christmas lights. Like hate fireflies. Yeah, let's go with hate fireflies.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
don't really have any ranged attacks, so I'm just going to try and find something to hide with the light that they're emitting, if there's
You bet.
anything I can see.
So here at the top of it looks like this hole was dug out fairly recently. And there's all the debris had to go somewhere. So it's up here at the ring. So you've got lots of, I wouldn't say it's defensive enough that it could like take damage. It's a big pile of dirt, but you can hide behind it and break line of sight between you and the bugs. Yeah, you bet. It's not the kind of defensive barrier that's going to put up with a lot of punishment, but if you're just looking to hide, yeah, that's totally going to work. Karina, you're holding the kid. He's gone off to get the robes. And did you attack them back, or did you they bit you on the way to the robes?
Well, I'll attack them back now.
You bet. Karina, do you own a one-handed weapon?
Let's see. I've got my bow. I've got my giant sword. I probably have like a little dagger.
Are you
my
strong
side.
enough to wield that
Little,
big two-handed
she
sword?
says, a little dagger, you know.
Yeah, right. Little.
Yeah, like
a
little comparatively.
little like a tugboat. Yeah. Are you capable of wielding your big two-handed sword with one hand? Like, is that the kind of thing you could choose to wield the
I
disadvantage?
don't think it's as effective, but I
Okay.
think I can definitely. I'm strong enough to do it.
Does that mean you wield it like it's you wield it at disadvantage, or it deals less damage?
I think
What
it
did you-
deals. I think it. Let me think about that. She's definitely strong enough to do it. I think it just, I think it does less damage because there's not as much power behind it when it's just one arm swinging it.
Sounds good.
Because
bet.
more of her strength is being used to hold the sword rather than like hit with it.
Nice. Sounds good. Does that mean you want to attack? Because I realize that you're keeping the kid safe, but I don't want to eliminate all your possible agency.
I think she'll probably throw the kid over one shoulder and then take out like her little dagger and just kind of hold it. Like if something comes at her, she'll attack. But if not, then like I think she thinks that Click and Taika are strong enough to handle themselves.
Handle 6 bugs, you bet.
Yeah.
Taika, what'd you get for your attack roll?
I got a 6.
You bet. Do you claw them? Do you bite them? Do you hit them with another destructive disc out of the butt?
I take faces off.
I see.
I go for the classic face hugger move.
Right.
This is definitely a theme.
Right. I love it. He's got all this power, but he's definitely a cat. I love it. Yeah. And the bugs go, no, stop. We're allergic to adorableness, as you cling to their face and they die. You bet. You kill 2 of them. From here, do you continue to work towards the
100%.
robe while you fight the bug? You bet.
And I stare down the other bugs, being like, I'm just going for the robe. All I would like is the robe. Do not bother me.
I love it. Like you can rationalize with these things. Like, look, I want the piece of fabric. You'll let me have the piece of fabric, and nobody has to get hurt.
I have claimed this. It's mine.
That's great. So you glare at them. You bet. Click. Do you want to do something? You got 4 bugs left.
Oh, finish him off.
You bet. Roll to attackity. Clickety clackety. Roll to attackity. Yeah.
Oh, I got a 6 finally.
Nice. You bet. You rip them apart. You get to the Taika. You get to the piece of fabric. Duke is busy wailing. By the way, his cat was under attack. He's not a happy boy.
I actually have a question about that. Does Karina have any extra daggers, aka probably short swords?
I don't know,
so
but I'm curious as to where you're going with this.
I would wear one on each side of my leg.
Okay, so Duke would try and wriggle his way down and grab one to throw it at a bug.
Okay.
No kidding.
I feel like that's going to be like Duke rolling against me.
Hell yeah, disadvantage.
Yeah, go for it.
Got a 3.
Nice.
Do you want me to make an opposed roll?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Trying.
definitely.
I also got a 3.
Nice. What does that mean? Do you break even? I feel like he wriggles, he gets the sword, and now you have the opportunity to stop him or not.
Yeah, I'll roll again to see if I can like get the sword from. No, he takes the sword.
Yeah,
Cool. He's trying to throw it. Disadvantage.
Add a bug. You bet. He better not.
I
if he
rolled
rolls a
2
1,
6s.
Nice. He plugs one of those insects as Click is busy. So there are 4 left, right? Click's busy cutting them down, right? And he's, coming in through 3 of them, no problem. He probably doesn't need help to kill the 4th one. But as he's busy pinning it down with his giant weapon, a sword, a whole sword, like flies through the air and just plugs that bug out of the ground like
spaghetti western music plays. As he gets a hyper intense look, sticks his tongue out the side of his mouth.
I'm picturing the Clint Eastwood whistle, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I think Karina just kind of looks at him with a look on her face like, have I been underestimating this kid? Like,
that was cool. Yeah.
Click sort of cocks his head and gives him that human gesture he sees people. You know that.
Forgot what I was watching the other day. Somebody, I was watching Fern Gully. And if you haven't seen Fern Gully, there's a moment where a human meets a fairy, and the human does the extend the arm for the handshake, and the fairy doesn't get that, so they do the same thing, but they don't actually touch hands. And I'm just picturing that Click does the thumbs up, but he doesn't really get it, right? So he's just kind of like, am I doing this right?
Yeah, exactly.
So bugs are dead. You grab the hood. Do you put it in your mouth? Do you just point at it? Do you put it on?
I'll put it in my mouth, and I'll bring it back to Duke.
I'm sorry, what? You're gonna bring it back to the human child?
I put the hood on Duke.
Oh, I see. Okay, you bet.
Any chance you grab my sword along the way?
I didn't think about that. I wasn't there for a sword.
Click, do you remove her sword from the dead bug that's right in front of you?
I mean, it's a weapon that you always return the weapons if you can.
Right. It's nice utilitarian, right? No waste that way. So when you put the cloak on Duke, it's child size, right? It's how tall is Duke? What, 3 feet?
Around that.
Yeah, right. So the cloak fits him. It's a lot of layered extra fabric, like rolls of fabric. But it's layered that way on purpose. It's not too big. That was the visual style they were going for. A lot of those runes you recognize because you're a primordial being. Lots of stuff about the stars and the travel of time. And it's not a prophecy per se, just a lot of different symbols that all sort of mean the same thing. Whoever designed this definitely had a passage, like a time and planets motif going on. It doesn't reek of evil or anything, though. Do you put it? Did I hear that right? You put it on him?
Yep.
You bet. As soon as you put it on him, would everybody everyone who's within a couple of feet of him anyway, make a perception roll at advantage, because it's going to be hard to. It's going to be really hard to miss, but not so hard that I would bypass the roll altogether.
I got a 5.
I'm at the bottom of the pit, so I'm.
Yeah, right. Except you, right?
40 feet away or so. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I got a 5 as well.
You bet. Gobbo, what'd you get?
2. A 2.
A 2. You bet. It's hard to miss. When you put the robe on the boy, there is a brief smile that washes over his face that those of you who know him or have spent some time with him probably notice is out of character for him. And that's the thing you rolled for. The next thing is hard to miss. There is a little tiny, a zzz sound. Every now and again, you get a static shock that's intense enough you could hear it, not just feel it. That little zzz. And he disappears, cloak and all, leaving this burnt smell.
Karina just stares at Taika like, you didn't think any of this through.
What are you talking about? That was all part of the plan. Now we have an epic quest.
What? I was totally going to sacrifice the boy.
Away. She's no, I'm not talking to you right now.
There is an intense shaking of the planet. Do you want to go down or up as the ground starts to collapse around you?
Up.
Up. It's easier for you to say. Clicks 40 feet down. Click up or down.
I can. If the rest of them are retreating up, I'll follow them. I jump up to the spear. I'll have to leave my spear behind, but and then
Sounds
do
good.
an acrobatic, raw, like 3 round the spear and then let myself go, kind of thing.
Right, a badass series of pirouettes and other cool stuff. You bet. Everybody make a dex check to get out of the cavern successfully before it buries you alive. As the stonework starts to fall apart and the water below you starts to boil again, and the crystal down there lights back up, but it turns this ugly red color.
3.
I got a 5.
I also got a 5.
4.
Nice. Nobody rolled a 3. No, nobody rolled lower than a 3. That's good. Everybody escapes the hive as it finishes collapsing. Barely, though. Dust and dirt. Yeah. Clicks like, and just another day. Right. Like,
Our job is done here.
I'm looking for the perfect hive. That wasn't it. Like, and he just dusts himself off. Dust and dirt shoot out of the hole, right? You could all use a bath, but you're going to live. Except for Duke. Duke's somewhere, like, I don't know.
He's still alive.
Well,
Maybe.
hold on. No, right, maybe. Like,
Well, there's a defeatist
I
attitude.
don't think he's Duke anymore.
yeah, right. Like, there's a defeat. That's good. Like, way to just give up hope. Yeah. So, what now? Taika, how are you dealing with that anyway?
Oh, Taika has a plan. Taika's going to try and meditate and figure out where he is.
Well, that's not what I meant. I mean, how emotionally, how do you feel about that?
Oh, Taika's cut off from his emotions.
I see.
Taika doesn't deal with emotions right now.
Because he doesn't have them, or out of like a safety mechanism.
Oh, it's complete safety mechanism. He wouldn't.
Okay.
He wouldn't be aware of that. But
so this whole like emotion free. I'm super confident. I'm Antonio Banderas, but I'm a cat. Is actually all
Taika's
bullshit.
damaged
Is that?
Taika's damaged
I see.
goods.
Like, I wasn't really sure. I didn't know if that was really Taika was, or if that was just one big set of armor to keep people from seeing the inner cat. The Puss in Boots inside. You bet. So let's get that meditation roll in, and then we'll go to break.
Hell yeah. Got a 6.
You bet. So you get a couple of... Have you done this before, this meditation thing? What does that look like?
Oh yeah. So what he does is he will find a good spot, and he will knead the crap out of something with his eyes closed, stretching.
Of course. Do you get images? Do you get audio? I mean, what do you know on a good? What does a good roll look like for this?
Imagine the opening crawl of like a Lord of the Rings movie where you like scan through vast spaces and you come in on like the One Ring.
Right. So you get a bunch of panoramic views, and then you kind of focus in on the spot. You bet. So your mind empties, right? And for first it's you in the forest and the kneading, and then it's just you in the kneading, and then you don't feel that you're kneading anymore because your vision is somewhere else, and you're whirling through the air above what looks like a snow frosted peak. The snow here is so cold that it's blue. There is maybe a cathedral, maybe a church. It's big. It takes up a lot of horizontal space. There's no indicative of like a holy symbol on top. There isn't a cross on top or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a place of reverence. There are many people. They're all in chains, and they are all crawling, like on their hands and knees in the snow and the mud. But there's got to be at least 100 of them. And they have this huge, what looks like block of stone on their backs. And they're functioning as living human, like rolling logs to get it up to the rest of this unfinished building. And you see presumably Duke, right, in the robes, sitting on top of a throne of skulls, barking orders at them. Then he looks up almost like he can see that he's being scried upon. He glares. It's definitely Duke. His skin is turned black, and it's starting to crack in places. I don't mean black like a person. I mean black like asphalt.
Yeah.
He's starting to crack in places, and red shows through them. He looks like he's made out of volcanic material. He notices you. He goes, and your vision cuts. And I'll see you in 10 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Great.
everybody feel about the crunch or lack thereof? Do you want more, less? Did we like where the system is? I realized it was kind of an experiment, so I didn't know if you wanted to.
We are currently back, but I'm digging the I'm digging it, and I'm pretty sure we will get to points where there will be more crunch because things will be more defined as we go. So
sounds good. So last time we saw Taika, he was busy being snapped at from a projection. You're still there, right? That wasn't like an astral jump. You were just getting a vision.
No. Yeah. What we must do now is we must go to a mountaintop of blue snow, where men are chained, dragging stones to the top, being commanded by the majestic Taika, and save him.
Aren't you the majestic Taika?
I lost my words, Duke.
That sounds like a you problem.
Fantastic. And I will start to walk away.
I think Karina just like deep sighs because she wants to be petty, but also she's worried about Duke, so she's just gonna follow.
She wants to be. But I think that's the mark of a truly good person. You want to be petty, but you can't. Right?
Do not be overly worried. He is the son of a god.
Don't be overly worried. I love it. Be concerned, just don't be that concerned. What do you think, Click? You already have a quest.
Yeah, well, travel everywhere. You go where the winds lead you to find the things that you want.
Oh, that's right. The winds of change and all that. Right.
I also have no clue where to go to get to where it's snowy. So I'm just walking in a direction.
Right.
Could I probably traveled not to any place where it's like super snowy, but I probably have an idea of where to go. Could I roll to see if I can figure that out from where we are?
Yeah, sure. On his description of where the snow is blue? Yeah, sure. It's a fairly distinctive graphical thing. Yeah, sure.
That is a 6.
Nice. You bet. The permafrost mountains are far to the north. They're they're as far north as you can go before you turn back around. They're the equivalent of the North Pole.
Is he walking in the right direction?
No. No, he's not. Those are at the north peak of the planet. He is headed south, basically straight on. He is going the absolute, objectively wrong way. You're gonna have to pick him up, rotate him up. What is that? 180 and put him back down.
That's exactly what I do. He's walking. I just pick him up, turn him, and put him back on the ground.
Thank you. Right. And my feet never stopped moving while I was in the air.
Yeah, right.
He's just walking the whole time.
I love it. Looks like he was totally going the right way. He was just taking the long way around. Is all.
It's like when you hold a dog in the air right above water, and they think they're swimming, and they start doing the swimming motion, but they're not in the water yet.
That's good.
That's exactly what I was going for.
Are you? I mean, Karina, did you tell them where the plan is?
No, I'm if he starts going in the wrong direction, I'll just move him again.
I see. Gobbo, are you okay with this? I mean, we might be talking about going to where people don't usually go. The permafrost mountains are a internationally agreed hazard. Nobody lives there. Nobody goes there.
Why is it a hazard?
One, the temperature is cold enough to freeze the blood.
Okay.
And 2, the tectonic activity is a major problem. The place is constantly falling apart. Enough earthquakes that the outground collapses and that huge protrusions of rock come back up, and it's freezing beyond normal comprehension of that word.
We should probably get some warm clothes or something. Freezing to death is not a great option. Some heating pads, a jug of hot water, just something to not freeze to death.
Absolutely.
Because if we bring hot chocolate with the little marshmallows, that'll totally be enough. Yeah.
We will bring a jug of hot water.
Nice. Just one.
Isn't that a perfect place for your workshop?
What?
Perfect place for the workshop is his buddies wouldn't equip it.
That's true, and nobody would bother you.
I don't know if they'd be able to
Karina
move
just
even.
looks at Gobbo and is like, "You're gonna need a coat." And
So are
it just
you.
keeps
You're
walking. Like, doesn't
immune
offer
to
give
freezing
him a code.
temperatures.
Does not.
I could just see her coat is just her winter coat is just like something with a fur collar. The rest of it's all the same.
Yeah, right.
Right, exactly. She just sewed a fur collar on and she's like, yeah, good enough.
Yeah, right. We're good. What is it that you're wearing? I'm picturing Karina's wearing like animal hides and
Yes.
She's like Conan, just a woman. So there's lots of just like scraps of dead animal that are
Yeah,
are posing
she
as
basically
clothing.
anything she hunts, if she can keep the skin, she will. She'll like
Nice.
skin the animal and she makes all of her own clothes and everything.
Nice. Yeah, I'm picturing lots of like bones and teeth and fur and skin and stuff.
Yeah, she wears a ridiculous amount of clothes because she's trying to hide the fact that she's a mutant underneath.
Mm.
So like she's just decked out in fur and and everything.
When she said she sewed her own clothes, all I could think of was her sitting around doing needlepoint.
Right.
Right.
Only the needle is like the tooth of like a mighty dead creature, like a dragon or something.
Just giant warrior lady. She's doing this little delicate little.
Right. People are complex,
Yeah.
She takes her time to do a little embroidery work,
Yeah, right. One of the biggest, toughest, scariest men I know, who inhabits all of the classic tropes you might think of when, a hardworking guy in jeans, right? That kind of just ridiculous, over the top, still waters type guy. Loves poetry. He's like the most ass-kickingest guy ever, and he's also like Robert Frost. So people are deep sometimes. I don't really like Robert Frost, but anyway. So Karina, you also know one other thing, that there is an immense amount of curiosity regarding the permafrost mountain range because it never stops having natural problems. That's weird. So there's lots of different questions that have been pitched to historians and mages and everything else. So there's a lot of theories about how come that happens. But in any event, it's a problem. And land is precious. So Kane Industries has been hired around the clock to fix it. So there
Of
are,
course they have.
you'll find like a huge defensive perimeter of Kane Enterprises around the edge of the permafrost mountains. It keeps anything that's in, and anybody from out from going in.
That's fine. She'll just kill them all.
I see. You bet. You're talking at least 3 oceans between here and there. How are we getting there?
Probably a boat.
Well, I mean, the world we live in, did we decide whether or not airships were a thing?
I
didn't think
believe they were, but it was like very rare, and it was only like functional if they were found.
Yeah, I bet it's like people who have like a crap ton of resources and power.
So Batman.
They can probably get a hold of one of those.
I see.
Batman or Bezos have the airships. That's about it.
Right, exactly.
I see. Now, are they safer than water boats, or just is the thing you spend the money on because you can, or you spend the money on because it's better?
Well,
They're faster. I don't know if they're safer.
I mean, it's safer because there are less dangerous flying things than there are in the water things.
Right. No white lines in the sky. Right. Who you're going to hit.
Yeah. Well, also, you got krakens and giant octopus and killer sharks and giant sea turtles. In the sky, you got basically dragons.
Right. Yeah. That's not the same. Right. So I guess the question is, do we want to try and find an airship or find a ship?
I'd rather walk.
Across the ocean?
Well,
Is that whoa, slow down. Is that a talent you have?
walk on the bottom.
He's bug.
Just
I
keep
was going to say
walking.
he's bug Jesus. He just walks across the water.
Well, no, I meant like walk till you get to the water, then take a boat, walk the other distance.
Oh, I see. I was afraid you meant walk to the edge
Traditional
and then just
travel.
keep walking. Right.
Actually, I had a D&D character who did that.
Nice.
Had a ring of water breathing, and he had super heavy armor, so
He sank. Right. What's the problem? Right. And you just walk. That's funny. Let's see here. So Karina's familiar with the world, and Gobbo's familiar with this immediate area. So from here, if you wanted to charter a ship or steal one, depending on how you want to do it, if you wanted to go where ships are abundantly found, you have two options. There are two docks reasonably close to you. There's the old dock at Sword Mountain that is not really popular anymore with people who are, how do I put this, on the legal up and up. Sword Mountain is kind of infamous at this point for being the kind of place where smugglers and thieves hang out in a large enough population that the average military force or cops do nothing about it. We all kind of agree to pretend we don't know it's there, and the people there don't make a big deal about it. Can you trust anybody there? No. But money talks, and it'll be cheaper there than it might be to charter a legitimate ship. But it's also going to be less safe. You could also go to a recently established harbor called New Hope. Much cleaner, much safer, but big money and lots of glam and shininess. Up to you.
I have one question.
Yes.
Would I be something valuable in the black market if we went to this illegal place that
Are
I might
you
be kidnapped?
valuable? Did I hear that right? Did you just ask if you're valuable? You're a talking cat.
Like, I am curious, if we go to the criminal place, am I probably going to get kidnapped and sold to somebody?
Oh, I see. I don't know. I've seen you defend yourself.
I thought we were going to sell you,
right?
And then you just return.
I'm down
Western
for that
where the guy sold his horse at every town, and it would come back to him.
That's funny.
I'm down for that plan. I'm just checking in on the logistical side of, do I need to worry about being catnapped?
I would say it's a safe bet that I would watch my ass. Yeah.
I think we go to the town of scum and villainy.
I agree.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Like, you bet.
I would say Karina probably has one contact that isn't like awful there.
Okay, sounds good.
To get on a ship. She's been there before.
Yeah, you bet. Now is a great time to pitch that idea in case you are not all familiar. There's a concept I got out of maybe Blades in the Dark. I read a lot of books. I don't remember which one it is. I think it's Blades in the Dark. And they have a thing called the flashback. A friend of mine and I adapted that to, I think it's from Blades in the Dark, to the I know a guy rule. Basically, you can just say, yeah, I know a guy, and you create an NPC right there on the spot. That doesn't mean that they're next to you, right? You come with, their name, how you know them, where they are, right? Because to ask a player to establish their entire world of connections during session 0 is kind of exhausting. And over time, you might come up with a new idea. So feel free to just kind of install an NPC whenever you feel like, which is what Karina just did.
Okay.
Yeah, that you're right. That flashback thing is from Blade in the Dark.
Is that okay? Right.
I'm gonna make this fun then, but only because I talked about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that I know a guy as well. However, they're not helpful.
Okay.
Their life was ruined, and they owe someone a major debt, and that debt is to capture me and bring them to that person.
That's good. Yeah, you bet. I can totally see that. We all have people that we know we ain't friends with. Yeah. I don't see how that's unreasonable at all.
Well, I'm also a talking cat with god powers. Like, if there's anyone who has that problem,
squeeze the juice out of you. Squeeze the god juice out of you and use it for something.
Are you going to juice the cat?
No, I was talking about that's what people were trying to capture him.
Oh, I see.
Squeeze the god juice out of him and use it for an immortality potion or something.
That's disgusting. He is a mammal, right? Now there's like divinity cat milk. That's ew. Like a
I don't know if it'd be considered milk.
Oh,
if you're just
I was
grinding up the cat.
I figured you don't actually grind him up. He's a mammal, right? Like, don't all mammals? Isn't that required for you to be a mammal? Is the whole milk thing? No, I'm not.
I feel like if anyone
the females, I don't know about the males.
It would be Gobbo.
Yeah, if anybody's going to grind you up for your god juice, right? That's just
That almost
you gotta
got
watch
me to
out
do
for
a
that
spit
guy.
take. That was so close.
That's nasty. So in any event, are we headed to Sword Mountain?
Yes.
You bet. Are any of you familiar with it previously? Have your travels brought you
No.
near it or anything? No?
Nope.
Sounds good. From here, you're talking like just under a day's travel to get there, out of the forest, through the fields beyond, and you can't, I mean, once you get out of the forest, you can't miss it. Sword Mountain is huge. It's called that because it is a mountain in the shape of a sword. It's hard to miss. So from here, the forest does not provide you any problems. Quite the contrary, actually, you watch small creatures dart around you and leave little, like a nut here, a piece of bone there, a scrap of fabric or a button they found. You start to get the idea that maybe these creatures are leaving you offerings, like, please don't hurt us.
When I start to see that, I will reach out and be like, just mentally, it is okay to chill. We are just passing through. I got this. so they can relax.
I see. So when you reach out, they freak, but they eventually pull themselves together. But there's mostly, it's just like they shift from fear to reverence, but not like fear to, hey, let's hang out.
Hell yeah. No, if it was that, I would tell them to go to hell.
When you get to the other end, does anybody have any inquire? Do you do anything on your way through the forest? I mean, you have what is essentially moving downtime right now. What does that look like? What does Gobbo do when he's not reanimating the dead? Sleep, I know, but I mean, what else?
Like, how do I wait? What part am I describing?
What do you do when you're not, actively doing something? What does your downtime look like?
When you're walking along the trail.
Do you take
Contemplating
in the
what
sights?
I'm doing?
I see. Not a guy with wonder, huh?
No.
It occurs to me that a lot of the time you're either hiding, running for your life, hiding and fighting for your life, reanimating the dead, or facing judgment from Karina. Now, none of the, well, maybe only one of those things is happening. But I mean, none of the rest of it is happening. And I didn't know what it, if you like talk to your friends, if you just kind of keep to yourself and bury yourself in your brain, what does Gobbo's travel self look like? What do you do when you're not under attack?
Well, obviously, look out for any dead things. Always useful.
Of course. Yeah.
Other than that, I'll think about that.
Okay.
At least
I imagine it doesn't happen very often. I just didn't know. Like,
my corpse sense is tingling.
All right. Ooh, look, a dead thing. Right. Like,
something's fresh.
I mean, one of those offerings is a little bit of a skull. So, like 15% of a skull. It's not complete. But that skull is probably humanoid.
Not enough flesh.
Nah.
Right, he's like, I don't do bones, right? I mean, but like a pulpy pile of bloody ick. Oh yeah. Like, Karina, what do you do during this period of time? Do you talk to your friends? Do you retreat into your mind? Are they your friends?
I'm going to do two things: sharpen my swords, and send a letter to my mom.
Aw.
Via my giant black raven.
You bet. What's the letter say?
Just letting her know, like, I'm headed off on a quest. Like, she's kind of morbid. Like, ever since her dad died, like, she just kind of lives with the fact of, like, okay, like, what I'm doing, I could die at any time. Like, might happen. So she's essentially just, like, letting her mom know, like, hey, could die. That's about it. Love you.
But not dead yet.
Right, exactly.
Might be
like,
dead.
I'll
but
update you later.
Right. If this is the last letter you receive, that's because I didn't make it. Right.
Right.
Like, you bet. Click, what's your travel time look like?
Click is he's quiet. He just kind of walks like with purpose that he's going someplace.
So in my brain, he moves like Mad Eye Moody does. He's
sort
like hyper vigilant, but not like twitchy.
Right, sort of a lanky walk,
Mm-hmm. He's
because
not
of the
like
because
a
of the
freak.
weird joints and stuff.
Right.
You know?
And Taika, what's yours? Do you talk? Do you like?
Absolutely. So Taika will solemnly walk. He's He's very much aware of his surroundings, but he will talk to spirits the entire time.
Oh, great!
And it'll just be weird, abstract language switching. Like it's headache-inducing if you try and pay attention.
Right. So the rest of you might think that Taika fell and hurt himself, and has clearly lost his mind. You bet. When you get out to the edge of the forest, there's a huge flat plain where battle happened a long time ago. The grass doesn't grow anymore, right? Like magical blasts of large enough capacity have ruined the land there. And everyone has agreed not to fix it, kind of an agreement to remember what went wrong. So it's a big memory now. But you can see Sword Mountain looming over it. And from here you can see so people have built a town up and around the sides of the mountain. It's a very vertical place. When you cross the clearing, it's a couple football fields of just big, open, boring dead. Every now and again, when you walk up on the grass, a little electrode will kind of shoot out of it for a second, a tiny bit of magic that was left in the blades. But no big deal. It's an overcast day, not like a moody day. You can see the sun. It just can't get through the clouds all the way. When you get the rest of the way across the fields, you're looking at the town. And nobody pays attention to you. The whole place is covered in a fair degree of dirt and grime, and everybody likes it that way. You hear people openly discussing how to kill that guy or how to steal that. I mean, it's a town full of vice and murder, and it's not a secret. So nobody's talking in code. Nobody's talking or beating around the bush, right? And nobody looks at you twice. They're all too busy doing their own thing. Now what?
I need to head to a weaponsmith. I need to replace my spear.
You bet. There are lots of shops around, some of which are labeled, but you get the distinct impression that there's probably shops that are not labeled, right? Like there's the shops for tourists and there's the good ones. And they're, in most cases, they're not the same. But you do see two different signs. You see what looks like a depiction of a shield that has a hole bored through the center of it. And you have what looks like a sword that looks like it's been patched, like this cracked line through the center.
I go to the shield place.
You bet. As you get inside, as you approach the door, you hear lots of sounds of clanging and banging inside. When you push the door open, there is what appears to be a gnome, maybe even smaller than that. We're talking like 3 inches. It's like a sprite, really, with a hat that's twice as tall as he is and big, thick goggles on his face, covered in soot. He's upside down, hanging from a rafter. He kind of looks like he's tied himself into his own hat somehow. And he goes, "Be right with you. Hold on. And he goes to wipe his goggles off, which does nothing because his hands are covered in soot too. But while he does that, he falls out of the hat and lands on the ground and goes, "Rah!" And pops up out of a pile of soot. So he's just eyes, and he goes, what can I get for you?"
I need a spear.
Made out of what? Bone, metal, hate?
Hate? You can harden hate?
No. People with lots of hate do that for me. You just take the blood, you heat it up, you add some stuff, it solidifies, it's a good time. Right now I've got 80% hate blades, but if you give me some time, I can probably get a higher magnitude.
What about resentment?
No, resentment. I'm all out. Just sold all of those. Army came through. I'm not really sure what they needed them for. Don't ask, don't tell. They paid good money.
I think I need one made out of good metal.
Metal, you bet. The metal, the kind of metal that repels men, or the kind of metal that repels supernatural problems?
Supernatural problems. I can handle men.
I see. You bet. And he hops up out of the pile of soot, dusts himself off, hops up onto a counter, walks over to the edge of it, and presses a button on the side of the wall, and it kind of, and you're looking at the weapon display, right?
like one of those spice cabinets.
Yeah, right. And there's lots of weapons on the walls, and there's a selection of spears that range from the kind of thing he could wield to longer than you can wield. And he goes, take your pick. Anything on this wall is 50 gold. Anything on that wall is 80 gold.
I pick one that's, a little bit taller than me and test its metal and try to pick a good one.
You bet. A lot of them look like they're made out of the same thing, just they have different styles. But they look like quality work. The metal's tough. It's sharp. It's everything you want in a spear.
Yep. Then,
given the choice of motif, what do you go with?
I would go with a leaf blade with a boar cross spike.
Nice. Fancy. I don't know what that means.
That they put these crossbars on spears so you can't drive them all the way through something.
Yeah, I know what that part meant. It's the leaf blade you lost.
Oh, a leaf blade's a very flat, wide blade.
Okay, yeah. I think I get it.
More like a raindrop shape kind of in some
Okay,
respect.
yeah, I looked it up. Okay, yeah. We're watching Arrow right now, and his arrowheads are like that, a little bit wider. But the guy puts too much effort in, makes his own arrows in that show. I can't all of them. That's got to be exhausting.
Well,
and traceable. I mean, that's a lot of raw material.
Well, but you see, it's like packing your own chute. You're getting quality.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. So you find a spear you like. Got the safety bar, right? So you can retrieve it. And the head you like. And he goes, find one you like, 50 gold. You bet. No questions asked, ever.
Okay.
That's why people come to Portal Pete.
I turn around and look at my orc friend and said, "Hey, you have 50 gold?"
You want to spot me this spear? Karina, what do you think?
I don't carry money. We didn't get paid for anything since we've started, have we?
I don't think so.
Then I would have no money.
I thought we got paid for the first village we helped out.
Oh, yeah, that was a while ago.
Yes. So that was a while ago. We haven't bought much though.
So I take whatever money I have and throw it up, put it all of it on the counter, no matter how much it is.
You bet.
I'll spot him the difference. Like however much he's missing, I will give him the rest.
You bet. So you have most of that, and Karina spots you the rest of the way, right? And he goes, pooling money for a spear? Look, I don't mean to be that guy, but are you sure you're in the right town? I mean, in quick history lesson for those of you who might not belong here, which is all of you. Nothing personal.
I think before he even continues talking, Karina's just going to glare at him and slowly grab the hilt of her sword and lift it up a little bit. Like she's going to pull it out.
He goes, what I was saying was, nice to see you. You definitely look like you belong here. My bad. I mistook you for somebody else. My apologies.
She gives him a smile.
Goes, you look terrifying. I don't suppose you're in the market to make some money.
Well, I believe we need money.
Always.
Oh, good. So, I mean, you're clearly from around here. We have problems, right? And usually that's, Johnny Law. It's not a problem. We sort of agree to ignore each other. But recently we've had a group of guys come in and get all pushy and shovey and showy. And, they're breaking people and stealing stuff. And there's rules to that. You can absolutely steal from each other. But there's a standard, there's an unwritten set of rules of conduct. And these guys are ignoring all that. And they're ruining up everybody's jam. If you would kill them, if you would just kill them. Oh. Right. If you would just murder them, that'd be great. And I would be very happy to pay you to take care of it. It's hampering everybody's style. The problem is we've all kind of agreed to not cause pick fights here in the town.
And we're a disposable asset now, right? Because
exactly right. While you definitely fit in any kind of eyeball screener, like while you definitely belong here, Messenger Scene, you're not part of us. You didn't sign the pact. We cannot pick that fight, even if we wanted to. The can of worms that would open, it's just not worth it. But I would, well, not just me, we collectively would be very interested in seeing them taken care of, and we would pay you accordingly.
How much money?
I guess that depends on how fast and how completely you can eradicate the problem.
I can kill all of them.
But handsomely.
All right, just tell me where they are.
Well, I mean, everybody in the town who's part of them wears this big flashy K symbol.
Ah! She's so angry. She's like, yeah. All right. Turns around, starts heading. She knows who she's looking for.
I follow her.
Bunch of dicks. You bet. Gobbo, what do you think? Did you want to buy anything while you were in there?
There a morgue?
Of course.
What else am I looking for? Or like an unburned burn pile of corpses or something?
There is a mass grave, just a big hole in the ground filled with the dead.
Ah, sweet. I'm gonna roll to find some cool bodies.
I will be right back.
Too.
However, the entire time after that interaction where we were called disposable, Taika is, please explain why we are disposable. This does not make sense to me.
Right. Because the universe revolves around.
And he
Taika,
never accepts the answer no matter what he's told.
Yeah, I figured. Right.
Peg's like, I am the universe.
Right. The sun rises and sets because I say so. Right. Like, Gobbo, could you be more specific? What constitutes the kind of body you're looking for? I mean, what exactly is a cool body?
Very large bodies. The larger they are, the better. They're more durable.
I think he's looking for some bodyguards.
Yep. Nice. And the corpse puns start now and just keep rolling. Right. Okay. Oh, that's disgusting.
I could see him Frankenstein one up. Hey, this guy's got a nice chest, but this guy's got better arms.
Yeah, right.
We'll combine them. Perfect.
That dude's a Khajiit, so we'll scoop those eyes out and plug them into. So Karina's marching off into town to find somebody to stab, if I understand this right.
Yes, to flesh out that plan a little bit more.
Okay.
She's literally just going to walk to like the center of town, like the most populated part, get up a little high so like people can see her and hear her, and just shout like, Kane! She knows he's probably not here, but the people who follow him will probably be like, what
ears
is
will
that?
perk up. Right.
Flunkies of Kane.
Karina, right, flunkies, right. So Karina's looking to pick like a mosh pit fight in the middle of a town where everybody is armed all the time. Clicks what? Following along
behind. She said she's got a job to do, and
Taika's busy refuting all of the evidence provided to him by a very tiny sprite, and Gobbo is busy digging through a pile of the dead. This is like the best team ever. You bet.
So basically, I
Gobbo,
just want to like amass a crowd of the Kane people, and I'm just going to start annihilating them.
You bet. Humor me. How do we draw their fire? How do we get them all together around you? Do you insult their parents?
The second I see the first one wearing the garb, the Kane garb, I am going to leap off of the little like box that I'm standing on.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take my sword out and slice them in half.
Nice. Part them like a butterfly shrimp. You bet.
Very flashy, very showy, because then everyone else is gonna be like, oh shit.
Nice.
Gobbo's head twitches up like my corpse sense is tingling.
like a fresh one, right? Like, that's terrifying. That's gross. You bet. So you split the first one. This immediately causes. So the people here are aggressive all the time anyway. They're always on edge. Nobody trusts each other, right? But better to live here than in polite society where they're constantly being like thrown into prison. At least they all understand each other here. So they know a personal bout when they see one. So everybody except the Kane Enterprises folk leave you alone. Like they back up and step away. Not their problem, right? But the Kane Enterprises people took that real personal. So in like less time it takes to say it, you are surrounded by 10 men, and that number is getting larger. Gobbo, this heavily populated part of town is 2 levels up, which means Karina's like 80 feet from the ground. There's a bunch of stairs and stuff. She is on the ground, but I mean, you're up the side of a mountain. That body pit is at the bottom.
Okay.
So you're not exactly nearby to help. You could run up the stairs, I suppose. So the biggest single corpse in here is a Goliath that looks like it was killed by mass perforation. I don't know if that's
mass
a problem.
What?
Stabbing.
Ah, okay.
Many pointy bits went into the Goliath. Looks like the vital organs were missed many times in a row, but eventually struck, which is how come it's dead.
All right. I'll sew up the wounds, and then I'm going to try and reanimate it.
You bet. Are we doing some patchwork like Click recommended, or are we taking the Goliath as it is?
No, I said I'd patch him up. Yeah.
No, I meant, are we like changing out parts? Like arm from that, tail from that. So
are there any interesting parts there, like other mutants, or?
There's a what looks like a kobold that's much larger than it ought to be, somewhere between a kobold and a dragonborn. Tail is like freakishly long. That tail's got to be 6 feet long.
That is a long
Can I see if it can
kobold.
breathe fire? Like try and dissect it to try and figure that out?
Ew. Like, ew. You bet. You carve it up, you go inside. You do find, I always thought the breath weapons were sort of like a sack. They were inside the body, which is how come they have to recharge. They can only grow back so fast. So when you cut it open, you recognize the fumes in there. That's not fire. That's that lightning beam thing that some dragons breathe. But it's definitely a breath weapon. Yeah.
I'm going to try and do a transplant then with the switching of the heads and I guess the
stomach
breath
sack.
Weapon sack.
You bet. That's
disgusting.
Yeah. Well, you say that until he saves your butt with an undead creepy crawly that breathes lightning. Right?
Save my butt. Karina is very confident about their ability to wipe out these minions.
Right. Olivia, like, fuck you. He's not going to save me. Right? Like, you bet.
Click is just leaning on his spear off to one side.
Okay.
Even Click's like, no, she's fine. I'm just gonna stand and watch. You bet. Gobbo, roll to see how well that goes over.
All right.
The animation's gonna happen. Just see how the breath weapon goes. Taika,
right, I got 4.
You bet. Goes well. Not like no extra bonuses or anything, but it comes out on top. No problem. Have you done that before, or is this the first time you've extracted a breath sack?
Breath weapon is new, but like transplanting stuff, no.
I see. You bet. So the Goliath has the head of a mutant kobold, and can breathe lightning. Ugh. It won't hold forever, because it's not actually a living thing. It can't draw in the energy it needs to refresh that sack. So you're going to get 4 charges.
Okay, all right.
It was full at the time of being killed, so you've got 4 charges in there, and you can use them whenever you want. You can use all 4 in a row if you want, but after that, they're gone. Taika, the merchant inside has stopped trying to convince you that you're not like the center of reality. He knows a lost cause when he sees one.
Since Gobbo's basic power is electrical, could he recharge it?
Ooh,
oh, maybe.
Think of that.
Yeah, it's a good
Worth
point.
a shot when it runs out.
You can do like creepy undead lay on hands, right? Just juice him.
Lay on lightning.
He's got like an extension cord sticking out the side of him. He just sort of touches it.
Right. Yeah, there's like a bar of metal sticking on the side, and you just grab it. And that's creepy. So yeah, that's disgusting. But yes, I think it would work. I think you can, if you're okay with it. I mean, it's your power. I'm all for you. Just like grabbing him and feeding him electricity. Yeah, why not? That's so gross.
I would go to where Karina is, because I know that after that's basically her target, and she's probably going to start problems.
Karina,
I think at this point, Karina's like covered in dead Kane Enterprise workers, and is laughing, having a great time. She's like, "This is the best day ever. I love killing these guys."
How during this time of happy chaos, how familiar are you? Like, how perceptive are you? Are you one of those people that stop seeing does the world around you fall away during times like this? Pardon me. Or are you one of those people that gets extra focused instead?
Anything that's like within her circle of like murder, she is sensing really, really well. Like if someone is going to try and like come up behind her and like stab her or something, like she's got very good, like, not like spidey sense, but kind of, yeah. Like she's got danger sense. But other than that, like she's not really focused on faces. Like if you're like, oh, there's a person standing in that crowd, you need to remember them later. No, that's not going to happen.
Okay. If there were a bunch of flyers and stuff on the streets that you are not in the middle of, like that were outside of your circle of slaughter.
Yeah, no, she's not going to see those.
Okay, sounds good.
Not until after she's done.
You bet. In that case, Click and Taika, would you both roll perception rolls to see, if there's anything noteworthy outside the murder circle?
6.
Oh, shoot. The secret pen. What time was your exam?
I have like 20 more minutes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
6, I got.
You bet. You've noticed that outside the circle of death, right? There are flyers up in the town of Karina that say "wanted, dead or alive, ridiculous amount of gold." By which I mean at the bottom, it says "name your price."
Oh, I take it off the wall, fold it up, put it in my little side pouch.
Right. Because I'm sure removing one flyer will make a huge. But I do love,
I've done my duty.
I love the one like, yeah, I helped. That's funny. You bet. Karina, I'm not gonna have you roll to kill these guys. They're superior in every way. But what does that look like? I mean, are you making a spectacle out of this?
Yes. I want them. She hates them. So not only is she killing them, because she's capable of killing them easily, she's doing it in a way that makes them look just utterly defeated. Like she wants them to look so humiliated when they die. Like anyone who's watching this is going to be like, oh no, like those those poor guys.
Cuts off an arm so they bleed out instead of just killing them outright.
Right.
Nice.
And any of them who try to like escape, Click pushes them back into the,
It's like that scene in Kill Bill where they're fighting in like the dojo or whatever and chopping off all of the arms and legs.
I'm picturing they come at you with like all this fervor and you just kind of like step out of the way and push them in the back of the head and make them look stupid. Right. Mm-hmm. And then you trim them up so they bleed from lots of little cuts instead of like one decisive.
Tripping them by cutting their foot off,
Yeah, right.
She also looks like she looks insane right now because she's having a great time. She's like smiling and laughing. And so like to anyone else, she looks like a crazy person.
That's fantastic.
Looks like that guy in the bar in the Western where he's sitting to the side while the fight's going on, pushing the guys back into the fight.
That's great. With one flyer in his pocket. Nice. You bet. What is the goal here? Just to kill them all to get paid?
Not even like, yes, the money is nice, but she like single-handedly wants to wipe out all of Kane Industries.
I see. You bet.
She has such a vendetta against Kane himself. Like,
I see. You bet. So this would take less time, except you're deliberately going out of your way to make them all look stupid. And just
like she could have had this done and over with way sooner, but she's like, no, this is fun.
So by the end of this, we're standing in pulpy red material that goes up to your boots, right? It's a bloody ballet of murder and slaughter, and it's disgusting, right? Taika, what are you up to during this period of time? I know what Click's doing. He's making sure that everybody gets what's coming to him.
With
and
Click.
Just kind of pushes them.
I was going to jump in. Mm-hmm. But I'm chilling with Click because I don't. I'm just having a good time.
Yeah, right. Don't want to steal the lady's thunder. You bet.
This is her relaxation time.
You bet.
Exactly.
Gobbo, you finish assembling your. What do we want to call him? He's 7 feet high and 4
Frank.
feet across, and he breathes lightning. Frank.
With a
Frank
tiny
is
little
perfect.
kobold head.
With a tiny little cobalt head. Right. So when Frank picks himself up out of the other bodies, right, he dusts himself off and looms up out of the pile of stuff. He turns to you and says, "Thank you."
Oh,
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
you're welcome.
And he goes, I'm alive. That's new. Or old, rather. Anyway.
You have memories? This is a first.
A couple, yeah. I was in a fight and I lost.
Did you remember being taller or shorter?
Somehow both. That can't be right.
Yeah. Normally they don't talk. What would you like me to call you? Right now I'm thinking Frank.
Frank is fine. Frank is
Okay.
fine.
Frankenstein.
What? Yeah, right. Why do I itch? Why am I? Oh, I am so. And you watch him like start like digging himself. Like why am I so itchy? And he blasts the ground next to him with a sneeze, and he roasts him with lightning. And he goes, "Oh, that's new. Did
I wouldn't look in a mirror. Your face is a bit different.
I see. So necessary side effects to get me back up from. I assume I was unconscious.
Yep. And I wanted you to breathe lightning.
I see.
You can do that now.
I noticed.
Yeah.
So, I was dead, I think, or unconscious. I'm not really sure. It's a bit fuzzy. Anyway, I feel like I owe you a favor. How can I help?
Come with me up there. It sounds like a fight's happening, and you want to fight?
Sure, yeah, why not? And you watch his eyes
Let's
flash
see how
red for a
strong
second,
you
and he
are.
goes, "Murder sounds fun." And he picks you up and puts you on his shoulder and tears off up the stairs.
Perfect. I was just going to recommend the same thing.
When you get up top, fight's over, right? Well, fight's not over so much as fight should be over, but Karina's busy stretching this out just for fun. Like
a pro wrestler.
Right. And he goes, "She is terrifying. Do you know her?"
Yeah.
Oh.
She's not going to like you.
Oh, I see. That's unfortunate. I think I like her.
You can tell her that.
Because I will. And he puts you down and he just like marches into the pit of blood. Right? He goes, "Hi. You're so cool."
Okay, so it's very clearly one of Gobbo's creations,
Definitely.
right?
Yeah. Definitely. Unless there's some other sort of Dr. Frankenstein stitcher upper out there. Yeah. There might be. I imagine he got that science from somewhere.
I think Karina just kind of looks over his shoulder. Is he taller than Karina, or is he shorter?
How tall are you?
I think I'm like 6'5".
He is
something
he
like
is a
that.
couple inches taller than you. He's around 7 feet high.
All right, so I kind of just like lean to the side of him to like look at Gobbo behind him. I'm like, "What did you do?"
I found a body and I found a head. I combined them together, and now it's talking. This is a first.
And now he's
I love how
undead.
Like you,
I love how
though.
shamelessly open he is about it. I did a thing, and this is what happened.
Yeah,
Did you explain that to him and just kind of like?
I did. And he's just like, "Cool, living's cool." And here we are.
Okay.
I'm just as confused as you are.
He goes, Did you do any points to the bloody, pulpy remnants of what was previously a trained military fighting force? He goes, did you do all that yourself?
Yeah.
Bad ass.
That is something that she does.
Oh my God, there's a talking cat. And he runs towards you and he goes to like pick you up and pet you.
I will not let him.
Yeah, I didn't think so. And it goes, "Fine, be that way." He notices clicking and he goes, "You are he pokes you. I don't know if you're opposed to that. You didn't say anything yet, so for all he's not sure you're actually real. He pokes you and goes, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought you was a statue."
And I say okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sure that was offensive. My apologies.
Have you looked in a mirror or
No, the nice man specifically told me not to do that. And it wasn't something
I told him he has a different head. I didn't want to freak him out.
It wasn't something I made a big habit of before.
So you're aware that you died, and then he messed around with your body.
The details there are kind of fuzzy. Yeah. I remember I was in a fight with many people and I lost. And then I woke up in a body of pile of dead people. So yeah, I'm smart. I can add that up. But hey, being alive beats being dead.
And you don't care that he, took your parts out and put new parts in.
If that's what it takes for me to be alive, nope. Besides, look at me. And he does one of these.
Okay.
Oh yeah, check this out. And he swings his head up and goes, and like shoots a bolt of lightning into the air. He goes, "That's so cool. I couldn't do that before."
Uh-huh.
Nope, he doesn't seem to have any problem at all that he's a reanimated corpse. Not even a little bit.
Karina's gonna whisper to Gobbo. She wants to be sensitive about it. She's like, "Don't your things normally not live very long after you bring them back?"
After they fight, he seems to be doing well. I mean, he's talking. Who knows? Maybe he'll live after that too. I don't know.
Are you gonna tell him that?
I told him he's fragile.
Okay. I don't like you.
I'll give him the news a bit later. He's still figuring out what life is. This is
unprecedented.
I'll let him know what'll happen next time he wants to fight.
Cleaning off my swords and stuff. I'm not gonna let Gobbo ruin my happy place.
You bet. So you're standing on a small pile of enemy dead. There's 40 people here, and you were just standing on or in what's left of them. Now what? If there are Arcane Enterprises staff left here, they have deigned not to come out of the woodwork and fight you. And you've noticed that the ring of people, they didn't get involved directly, but they didn't run away or anything. People get stabbed here all the time. Instead, it looks like bets are being placed. You're watching coins exchange hands. There's a dude with the hat with a little card on the side of it and everything. People are placing bets as we speak.
I think then Karina's just going to grin at everyone else and be like, "Who's next?"
Ooh, me. And Frank goes like this.
"No, not you."
"But why not?
You want me to kill you?"
"No, I want you to try."
"I will kill you."
"I don't know about that. I breathe lightning."
"I'm not going to
look at all
kill
these
you."
people. And he looks to the people and he goes, "You guys want to see this, right?" And all the people sort of blink and then cheer about the idea once their brains finish adding that up. And he goes, "See, look at that. You don't want to disappoint all these people."
Okay. I mean, it's your funeral.
Second funeral.
Wait a minute. I don't think he got a first funeral. He was in a mass grave, right?
He was in a mass grave. He probably didn't get a funeral. Yeah.
Gobbo, shouldn't you advise him against that, though? Isn't he your friend?
Yeah, I don't recommend you do that.
But I'm immortal, right? You raised me from the dead. You can just do it again, right?
Here's the thing about my creations. Normally they don't talk, and normally after one fight they tend to fall apart.
Even if
I don't know though, you could be different. You're talking. That's new.
Even if they win, do they fall apart even if they win?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Then it doesn't make any difference then. She stands to make a bunch of money if they bet on her, right? And I'm going to die no matter what.
I mean, if that's what you want, if that's how you want to go, I think that's how you want to go. All right.
Like she's awesome. And I mean, what's a better way to get killed than to have like the scary lady with the sword cut you in half?
Frank, you're by far the weirdest creation I've ever made.
Thank you.
Live your life.
Like, and he charges at you.
Fleeting it may be.
Like, and he charges at you with everything he's got. He bears down on you like this, big, muscly, creepy arms coming at you. What do?
So he doesn't have a weapon besides his breath weapon.
Right.
I'm gonna, as he charges me, I'm gonna put my sword away, actually.
What?
Because I haven't committed to killing him yet. I feel kind of bad about it.
I was just going to ask how you feel about this.
So instead, I'm just gonna punch him really hard.
Yeah, you bet. Roll to attack. Let's see how well that goes. Do you have anything interesting on your fists? Or are we just like barbed knuckles or whatever? Are we just talking plain old ordinary sock to the chest?
Just ordinary. I'm strong, so like it'll hurt. But
where are you punching him? Anywhere specific? You got all. I mean, he's coming at you. He's big, right? You kind of have your choice of targets as long as they're in the front.
I'm gonna aim for kind of like the middle of his chest.
You bet. You roll the 5. You punch right into him. You sink like I'm punching a bowl of Jello, but you don't look like you do anything. Instead, he keeps coming towards you, and just you watch your arm vanish into him as he continues to come towards you. Would you roll a defensive roll? He is about to grab you and pick you up off the ground. At disadvantage because you're down an arm.
Okay. Still 5.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Because it's something you're good at. That totally makes sense. He picks you up off the ground and cannot seem to crush you beyond that because you just hold him off. And he goes, you're so cool. And as he attempts to crush you and fail, I will see you in a week. So you have time to get to your project. I love how it clicks like I'm not getting involved. Nope.
She didn't ask for help. She's a proud orc. Why would I get in her way?
Gobbo, how do you feel about the idea that your most complicated creation might just be killed by Karina, like right now?
I'm still really confused. I've never had a creation ask for something before. I'm not going to say no.
I mean, to be fair, she doesn't want to kill him.
You can't say no to your children?
He's dead set on it.
Well, I mean, you can say no to your children, but sometimes it feels weird to do so. Sometimes.
Well, I'm wondering how he remembers he's a Goliath with a cobalt head.
I'm not sure that he does.
Well, because he remembered being stabbed to death. See?
Right. And now he can breathe lightning, and he's that's new. So I'm not sure he remembers being a kobold. Just the Goliath part.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. Would you believe that I have an in-world reason as to how come he came to life? I can't wait to disclose that later. It'll be fun. Anyway,
right.
See you later.
Take it all easy. See you next week.
Yeah.